There's something else that requires our attention, and that is the attack, and it is nothing short of a full frontal attack on the Fulton County District Attorney, Fanni Willis. Now, the attack is coming from two different sources. One from the Georgia Republican Party, the Christian fascists here in Georgia, you miserable pricks, and from Jim Jacketoff Jordan, the chairman of the House Bullshit Committee. And they're determined not to let Trump go through the process that every American goes through to determine his guilt or innocence. Oh, no. These Christians are determined to stop the prosecution of this criminal bastard, no matter what the cost. And I'll just say again, it is a Christian-led effort to do this, and it is so shameful. It is just so shameful that we have people who claim to be followers of the rabbi from Nazareth, claim to be Christ followers, and they're nothing but lying son of a bitches who let's face it, I've said before, and you know this, if Jesus of Nazareth were to walk down the streets of Atlanta, Georgia tomorrow and go into the chambers of the Republican-led legislature and start saying, look, you people got to stop this shit, they would immediately attack him and beat the hell out of him and then probably have him arrested for trespassing. As far as the Christian fascists who exist in the U.S. House of Representatives, they wouldn't even hesitate. If they wanted to hang Mike Pence, imagine what they would do to Jesus of Nazareth. They would rip him into little bloody chunks. Have I mentioned yet tonight how much these people just are just disgusting? Disgusting. I've tried to make it clear that I see nothing inherently wrong with the basic concepts laid out by the rabbi, by Jesus of Nazareth 2,000 years ago. The Christian religion has turned into just a hate-filled, vicious, murderous blood cult. And that's what makes it so damn sad. And it should be a warning. If you are a Christian and attend your Christian church, I hope you are following, it's none of my damn business, but I hope you are following the teachings of the rabbi. I hope you are. Anyway, back to what they're trying to do, what the Christians here in Georgia are trying to do to Fani. And I emphasize Christian because these are not Jews. These are not Muslims, Hindus, or Buddhists. You can make your argument about any religion you care to, but the people trying to destroy this country are Christian. So the fight to protect Fanni Willis from these fascist lawmakers in Georgia, the fight has begun. Now, what this is all about, I mentioned this earlier this year. You'll remember here in Georgia, the Christian fascists passed something called Senate Bill 92. And that's a bill that could, it's now a law that establishes a commission appointed by the Christian demon governor and other state officials to, at their whim, discipline or remove any elected prosecutor in the state of Georgia. Now, let us not be misled here. This was designed to stop Fanni Willis. The fact that it is inclusive of any prosecutor in Georgia, black, white, Christian, Jew, or Gentile, or Muslim, or or Wiccan, or whatever, is totally beside the point. This was designed to stop Fanni Willis. The Christians in this state, in the legislature, do not believe in the rule of law. They do not believe the teachings of their Messiah. They don't believe any of it. What they are a bunch of political operatives who are using this battered, bloody, vile religion to beat the hell out of, well, in this case, Fanni Willis. So you have the orange bastard, Trump, facing criminal charges in a racketeering indictment handed down by Fanni Willis's office. And that is what is encouraging these Christians in the Georgia General Assembly to impeach her. Yeah. At least one Georgia so-called Republican Christian terrorist in the General Assembly has taken steps to do that, has filed, I don't know what is included, but some sort of a bill of impeachment against Fanni Willis. Another one has said he would file a complaint against Willis for investigating Trump. An attempt to impeach her for conducting a lawful legal investigation of a filthy, stinking criminal who tried to destroy every single vote by every single Democrat in Georgia. And these filthy Christian pigs in the Georgia General Assembly want to impeach Fanni Willis for doing that, for following the law. Well, I know I sound like, oh, big shock. I know it's not a shock. It really isn't to hear this day in and day out about these Christian demons who insist on destroying this country. But it's still shocking to me. It is. Now, this is going to happen unless a court intervenes here and stops this bullshit. Last Thursday, here in Georgia, there is a civil rights nonprofit organization called Public Rights Project. And it is supporting a bipartisan group of Georgia prosecutors, yes, some Christians in there, who are currently suing the state to stop SB 92 from taking effect. And the Public Rights Project filed a preliminary injunction asking a judge to stop this shit and to stop this so-called commission that was authorized by the passage of this Nazi bullshit, to stop the state's commission from, quote, opening any investigations or taking any steps to discipline prosecutors until a court rules on the law's legality. Now, that's a pretty tenuous situation for somebody like me who believes the things I believe, that the law is the law. Don't laugh. I know that. That is so quaint, isn't it? Well, Mike, the law is the law. Really? Anyway, in their court filing to stop this bullshit, the Public Rights Project wrote this, quote, SB 92 is an unprecedented intrusion into the power and authority of district attorneys who are protected by the Georgia Constitution. And it poses an imminent threat to plaintiffs and their offices, the administration of the criminal justice system, the rights of defendants in criminal proceedings, and the will of voters who have duly elected prosecutors throughout the state. End quote. Now, see, once again, what these son of a bitches are trying to do, these Christian demons in the Georgia legislature, they are trying to upend the votes of people. Here in Georgia, county prosecutors are elected. So what the Christians in the Georgia General Assembly are attempting to do, once again, is to nullify our votes. Every single son of a bitch who tried to nullify Joe Biden's votes was a Christian terrorist. All of them. Look at the indictment list. Look at those 19 miserable bastards. I gotta stop for a moment, take a little breath here. Boy, this is so infuriating to me, because this just grinds on and on and on. I mean, we're coming into 8 years now of this miserable, rotten Donald Trump throwing truckloads of sand into the gears of democracy. Jesus. Now, the founder of the Public Rights Project, a woman named Jill Habig, she said last Friday that the time in this lawsuit is at the center of the lawsuit when it comes to pushing back against SB 92 and the commission that SB 92 created. She said this, quote, "As our filing indicates, and there are already Georgia officials promising to use this commission to file complaints against Fanni Willis and attempt to initiate discipline or removal proceedings against her. As our filing indicates, part of our problem with the commission from a legal and constitutional perspective is it is very vague about the criteria and process by which the commission could initiate these proceedings," end quote. Well, of course, they cannot come up with a specific charge in their dumb shit Christian bill law now, or in any action against Fanni Willis. Fanni Willis is like Caesar's wife, if you know what I mean. But the Christian demons, they don't give a shit. They've got to stop her. Because, God forbid, so to speak, she might bring about justice where it concerns these 19 criminal son of a bitches that tried to destroy democracy here in Georgia. Now, Jill Habig said that the Public Rights Project wants a court to stop the commission from starting its work. And she said the arbitrary nature of the criteria that the commission will use to remove a prosecutor makes the bill unlawful. I mean, the Georgia Constitution sets up prosecutorial positions. Ms. Habig highlighted a portion of the law authorizing the removal of a prosecutor. Now, think Fanni Willis here. For, quote, "conduct prejudicial to the administration of justice, which brings the office of the prosecutor into disrepute." What the fuck does that mean? It doesn't mean anything objective. But if I'm a Christian fascist in the Georgia General Assembly, I can declare any conduct by a prosecutor as prejudicial to the administration of justice. I can declare anything Fanni Willis does, if I'm a Christian devil, anything she does would bring her office into disrepute. You see how this works? Of course you do. So it's very easy and twisted and vile to see how a Republican-led legislature, a Christian fascist legislature, will goddamn sure take liberties in determining what disrepute means. Oh my God. These disreputable bastards who passed this bill into law. Talk about disrepute. Now, Georgia, once again, whether we like it or not, is becoming kind of the ground zero for this incredible horseshit. There's several ground zeros, but Georgia is one of them, because the efforts here by these Christian demons to undemocratically and unconstitutionally oust prosecutors they don't like. These efforts by the Christian demons here are not confined to Georgia. And neither is the Public Rights Project's work on this issue. They're active in other states. In addition to prosecutors here in Georgia, for example, the Public Rights Project also represents Andrew Warren. He's one of the 2 Florida prosecutors suspended by this little jug-eared pig bastard Ron DeSantis, the governor of that state, as part of his crusade against the rule of law. Ron DeSantis is like the rest of these Christian demons. He does not want the rule of law. He wants religious courts to make decisions that are unchallenged and unchallengeable, if that's a word. So this Christian fascist assault on independent prosecutions and independent prosecutors is fully activated just like Dr. Frankenstein's monster. It is now fully active. That's important to remember as you hear these Christian doubles bitching and wailing and complaining about the legal system being weaponized against them. Oh, my God. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.